Hi, welcome to PoDUMb 7. This is it. This is what we're doing. No Scott. We got rid of him. Uh, actually, he texted me back, which is weird. I wasn't expecting him to text me back before we started, but in his words, sorry, this week's been a little crazy. But like weird capitals and stuff. It's been
Crazy.
crazy with midterms and such. Go ahead without me. So,
Oh,
PoDUMb,
why? He's a college boy.
yeah, he's doing school things and whatever. I don't even know what do you know what he's majoring in? I don't even
Last
remember.
time we talked, he was doing like English.
Okay.
Like he wanted to improve his writing.
I mean, that sounds like something that Scott would say. I can confirm it does sound like Scott. Well, like, I mean, do you think this is like gonna feed back into Dumb at some point, or do you think he's just gonna call it like do his own little thing and keep his expertise to himself?
Honestly, I think it'll be his own thing.
That's unfortunate. I was really hoping,
Yeah.
dramatic fight scene with Gimp and whatever.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, it is what it is, as the
Yeah.
kids say.
It do be like that sometimes.
Yeah, especially when it be like that or whatever.
Well, they say it don't always be the way it is.
But sometimes it do.
It
And
do
that's
indeed.
it do indeed. What a start to the Not Scott episode. Is this even episode 7? I don't even remember what.
Did we ever really bother fully numbering them?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like for the sake of like titling, we have to. But
I guess.
I don't know. Can I pull up? Can I even find it on YouTube anymore?
Where is the archive?
The thing is, my channel is just a clutter of everything I've ever made, and there's like no like segregation to it. Cause like I got like all my Slapshot broadcasts, then I got Lance videos, and then I got weird gaming stuff that I clipped, and then I got like other volleyball stuff. But it's just kind of all like compiled into one PoDUMb. We're on number 7. All right.
It is number 7.
What was episode 6? I don't even remember what 6 was about. I got lazy and didn't like put any like topics in the title. It's just PoDUMb 6. I feel like we recorded a 7th one already, but I don't know. It's not worth it.
Keyboard.
All right, so I don't know what we should cover for what have you been up to since when was the last time like any three of us talked?
I want to say it was whenever we last played Sea of Thieves.
So probably about a year ago.
Not quite a year ago, but yeah, it's been a hot minute.
It's been a decent amount of time.
I want to say that was at least probably September.
Oh, I was thinking before that. I was thinking like June, July of 2020. Because
I don't know. I thought we were still playing.
We might have been.
I don't remember. I'm bad with time.
Same, especially after the pandemic hit and everything just became one day. Like it's still May of last year to me, but that's my personal preference. But yeah. So if Scott was gonna be here, I was gonna bring up WandaVision because that's a superhero series that doesn't feel like a superhero series to me, except for like the season finale. The season finale was great.
I would even say the last 2 episodes.
Because like it starts out as like a sitcom thing, and it's great.
Yeah. And like the whole thing is like an homage to different eras of television.
Which is great, because it starts off with like the Three Stooges style of stuff. Like not the Three Stooges style, but...
More like I Love Lucy.
Yeah, yeah. I've never seen it, but I agree. But like, it goes through the eras of television, and it's amazing.
I think did they skip the 90s?
They might have. No, there was the whole Brady Bunch thing that felt like they didn't like distinguish the 90s from the 2000s era, because they kind of just clumped it all together and then went straight from that to Parks and Rec.
Yeah, well, I got more of a Modern Family feel from that.
I haven't seen that one, so I can't vouch.
Neither have I. I just know the type of series that it was.
Okay.
So just maybe it was more just because of the tone.
Yeah.
Like when I think Parks and Rec, I think more just like absolutely ridiculous nonsense.
Yeah.
But I feel like Modern Family was a lot more grounded. So I think, but yeah, same era, that kind of thing. Semantics.
Yeah, it had the styles and what they're known for, like we're in the middle of a fight, cut to a person interview, like Duck Dynasty or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's just that kind of style. But like I was expecting, an era where it's like the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody kind of style, and then that would flip into like Good Luck Charlie kind of style, and then that would lead into Parks and Rec and the other one that you said. Yeah. It's like I thought that might have been a better segue, but I'm me and I'm not professional. So
I feel like that would have worked if they hadn't gone the direction with the kids that they did, like age them up twice in one episode. I feel like if they'd kept them a bit younger, that would have been the best time to do a kind of Disney Channel style.
Yeah, like a Disney XD or whatever. I mean, they have twins. Yeah. Zack and Cody also twins. I feel like they're just ripping them off at this point. But, whatever. But yeah, I feel like if Scott wanted to get back into like superhero stuff, because his whole shtick was it felt fake and it felt like too pandering to be cool or something like that.
It felt repetitive to him.
Which it makes sense with like modern superheroes because, it used to be like the same breed where like it was all it started off with like Adam West, pow, kerblam, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And that was its own formula, and then that advanced into like newer-ish Batman movies where it was more action-packed, and then it went into superheroes are funny now. All of them are funny. They all make jokes, same kind of jokes. After like the first 8 movies you see of that, it kind of gets old, which is understandable.
I think the distinction that that doesn't really get thrown around a lot is that the MCU is a lot more made up of comic book movies than really superhero movies. So like their thing feels like to me that it's more they're embracing the absolute ridiculousness of it. So like trying to be overly serious would not always work. Now there are instances where I do wish they'd kind of settle down on the quips. Like I think there are several segments of Infinity War that like, okay, guys, settle down. Like there's no reason to be talking about ice cream right now. You're talking about the freaking destroyer of worlds coming to Earth. Lucy. For crying out loud, settle down.
Yeah, exactly. Women.
But like what you mentioned, with Batman and everything, the distinction I feel is that where Marvel is making more comic book movies, I feel like DC is trying to at least do more superhero movies where like they kind of ground everything with more realism. So that's kind of why they do the things that they do. I feel like there's a good middle ground, and that's not really necessary.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
There's gonna be some new formula here soon for superhero movies that'll spice things up just for a little bit, and then everyone's like, "Oh, that was successful. Let me do that." Like Sonic the Hedgehog was the most successful superhero movie of 2020. Just let that sink in. Yeah. Sonic.
I mean, there are a lot of things that contribute to that. Like, I feel like Black Widow would have made more.
Yeah, and like Mulan. Like, if movies actually came out, well, like Mulan would have done better if it, existed outside of the pay us more money and you get to watch it at home.
I disagree. Like I admit it would have made money, but I think the things that people got upset at Mulan for, people still would have got upset at
Oh
Mulan
yeah,
for.
yeah. I mean,
So
they might have made more money. They might not have, but I think the reception of the movie is the same. Like people are still gonna get upset. People are gonna be like, "Oh, they did the Chinese people wrong." But
well, honestly, I feel like if it had gone to theaters, that word of mouth would have spread a lot faster.
oh yeah,
Because like you said, with Disney Plus, the way they were doing the way they've done a couple of their things. Like they didn't do it with Soul for some reason,
yeah,
but what they did with Mulan, and they just did it with that new movie, Raya and the Last Dragon, making people pay extra for that. I feel like it didn't get passed around as much because so few people were willing to pay that extra $30 in addition to the subscription. I feel like if it had gone to theaters and more people had gone to see it, like people would have, then I think because like if you look at how word of mouth spreads when people go to the theaters, like the biggest example I can come up with is After Earth.
yeah,
Like that movie was set up to be a blockbuster, and like it had a good opening weekend. That opening weekend was the only time it was successful because everybody went out and spread the word like, oh, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
yeah. I don't. Yeah,
So I think response compared with how many people go and see it, I don't know. And this is all it's all speculation, obviously, but I do think Mulan would have gotten way more panned if it had come out in theaters.
yeah. Yeah. It's all about exposure, and not everyone wanted to get past the paywall, and that's why.
Yeah.
Like I would have went and seen it. Like me and Zoe, we wanted to go and see it in
Oh,
theaters because she's super into Mulan, so we were gonna go watch
okay.
it, and then it just never came out, and then we're like, oh, we don't want to spend $15 to watch it online, so we just never watched it, and still to
Mhm.
this day, I haven't seen it.
Me
And
neither.
I'm okay with that. I am perfectly fine with that. After hearing all the criticism about it, I don't really have that want anymore.
Mhm.
Which I'm sure the film as is good, maybe, but
Yeah.
they probably the flaw that I could see on the outside looking in without having seen it. The flaw that I think was probably there is they tried to make it too realistic and didn't make it what people expected. Because
Well, they
like
didn't even try to make it realistic.
I mean, there's always gonna be that who's the is it Disney that was making it or is it some third party?
No, it was Disney.
All right, well that means you got a lot of higher expectations to work with there. Is budgets and such.
Eh.
But yeah, I don't know. I just want Space Jam 2. That's all I want is Space Jam 2. When is Space Jam 2 supposed to come out? Like anytime
Come on,
soon?
slam. Let me
Space
see.
Jam:
I
A New Legacy.
that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's coming out 2021. Release date is supposed
Okay.
to be July 16th.
Hmm.
I really hope.
I don't buy that. They've not even doing a trailer yet, and they're aiming for a July. That's okay.
I mean, if you look it up, there's a couple like I don't know if I'm allowed to show it on the video because copyright and whatnot, and it's all about Lola Bunny. I'm not even gonna lie. The Lola Bunny redesign it's got to be the most demeaning thing and anti-progressive thing they've done. Anti-progressive in a budget sense, not like LGBTQ whatever. No, I mean
we
like
can't have a sexy female character anymore.
I mean money wise. What did you like? Lola Bunny is like all right. So Lola Bunny is like the bar for like the furry community, and you took that away from them.
Which is kind of why I'm okay with the new design, just because I don't like being turned on by a bunny.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of Lola Bunny in the original Space Jam is to be that. Like, what did they do? All right, hang on, I'm pulling this up. Whatever.
Yeah,
What did they
I'll
do
pull it
to
up on
reason?
my.
They didn't
I'll pull it
even
up on
like
my screen.
what
Put her in more of like a She's in more of like a. Hang on, let me see here. Yeah, she's a lot. She looks more like Slappy Squirrel from the original Animaniacs.
It's like they didn't even like try. They made her like chubbier. They added more clothing and they got rid of boobs. That is all they did. And they made her more Bugs Bunny, which is kind of a weird thing to say.
No,
Not
yeah, I
even
get that.
that. Well, kind of. Like Bugs Bunny has like the wider cheeks, where the old Lola Bunny was kind of slender. Like there wasn't as
Yeah.
much of that like beige puff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, come on. Like, oh, we need to make her non-sexualized. Get rid of the boobs. I made a new potion called Boobs Be Gone. Pow. And then they made her wear compression shorts, and that's it. And everything's baggy. Then she wears the weird, like, basketball sleeve thing now. I suddenly don't want to watch Space Jam 2. I don't know what it is. After this conversation, I just don't want to do it anymore. Unless they have, like, Kevin Hart in there. And then I'll watch Space Jam 2.
I would not put it. That would actually be really funny.
Well, like,
I'm not gonna lie.
Like Kevin Hart has like his whole he has like a whole reputation in the NBA. Cuz like
Does he?
I don't remember which team he's a fan of. Hang on. Kevin Hart NBA. He sits on the sideline and heckles the teams all game.
Oh my. Okay, that's pretty great.
He is a Houston fan. No. That is not a Houston jersey. Who the heck are the Rockets? I don't watch basketball. Is this the All-Star game? I don't understand. I think it's a team that James Harden plays for, whoever he plays for. Who's the Rockets? I don't understand. Anyway, Kevin Hart sits on the sidelines of NBA games and he heckles the team, the players, whichever he feels like targeting. My favorite insult is he called somebody's legs fake during a game and they missed a shot because of it. That's my favorite thing ever. What do you owe knowing?
Sorry, I am hearing your insults. The Looney Tunes aren't going to be 2D.
Are they not?
I'm looking at this. They did I guess they did like a first look or something. Hang on, and it looks like they're going to. Hang on.
Oh, so they're gonna be like CGI or whatever.
Yeah, they're gonna be. Yeah, right. Hang here. Let me send.
If done well, you know.
Wait. What? Okay, hang on. I'll throw it in the dumb crew chat.
PoDUMb. Yeah, I'm looking at what you're looking at.
Yeah. You're seeing that too. I see an image of. I see that image, and I see one of Michael Jordan. No, is that? Sorry, he was the first one. LeBron and Tweety, and it just looks wrong.
It looks very odd. I think it has to do with how obvious. Not because, you know, it's obvious that Tweety's not real. It's just because that the blurring isn't right.
That animation just doesn't. What was wrong with the interacting with the 2D versions of the characters? Like,
yeah.
Oh man.
Unless, is there like a pre-existing like Looney Tunes series going on? Why is Hillary Clinton in this? Anyway, is there like a why? Never mind. I'm getting sidetracked. Is there a pre-existing Looney Tunes series going on right now that's like 3D CGI? Do you know?
No, there's not.
Then what's current NASA spacesuit? No, Looney Tune series. Because if there isn't, why? Just why? There is. That's not real. Yeah, I'm not seeing one. Well, there is the new Tom and Jerry that's 3D that's coming out at some
that's
point.
not even 3D. Like they do have CGI for the characters, but they still have that kind of 2D feel.
Yeah, it's a cartoony, stretch and zip and whatever.
These look like they're trying to be hyper realistic.
Yeah, which is not going. It's going to be Cats the movie.
Oh no!
It might not be that bad, but that's my expectations.
I still say 2020 was God's punishment upon mankind for making the Cats movie.
The Cats movie and the Snuggie.
I actually own a Snuggie.
I think I do too. It's somewhere. I got it for Christmas like maybe 5 years ago. My grandma got it for. I think she got one for me and my brother. I have never used it because sweatshirts exist, and I just
and
don't.
So do robes.
Yeah, the backwards Snuggie.
I mean, a Snuggie can be a robe if you just wear it wrong.
Yeah. Just the difference between. All right, so I feel like the cultural difference between millennials and Zoomers is missing another generation, and that's us. Because from 1996 to 2002 at the latest, I feel like we're our own little thing. Because we want to die just as much as the millennials. But we don't actively drive towards it. Like, we want to die, but that's not what the end goal is.
Oh, we're more patient about it. We're willing to let it come when it comes.
Yeah. But until then, I'm gonna go skateboarding.
I think we should that side of the generational gap should be called the microregressions.
Yeah, there has to be a name that someone's come up for already. The Zillennials or something stupid like that. Because we grew up with the things that the 90s kids grew up with, but we also grew up with the things that the 2000s kids grew up with, like Zack and Cody and the other Disney XD shows. But we also grew up with Rugrats and stuff like that.
So theoretically, supposedly, that falls under Gen Z.
Really?
According to this, mid to late 1990s and the early 2010s as ending birth years falls under Gen Z.
Huh. I don't. Has the Gen Z generation ended yet? Have we started a new generation now?
I mean, right now, no. Once all the babies born out of quarantine start growing up, that's probably when the next generational era will begin.
I agree with that. That's gonna be because everyone was stuck at home. What else are you gonna do? So I mean, Baby Boomers 2 is probably gonna be what it's called because there's no way it's gonna be Gen AA. That's just stupid.
No.
Gen AA, the battery generation. There's no way.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the Baby Boomers 2, the babying or the booming. Making a movie title.
Electric Woohoogaloo.
Yeah, I don't know. There's that generation gap that I don't really align myself with millennials, but I don't associate myself with the Jake and the Logan Paulers of the aftermath. Because what is the age difference between me and Katrina? There's Caleb's 2 years younger. Sandra's 3 years younger than Caleb. Katrina's 2 years younger. So 2, 5. I think Katrina's 7 years younger than me. She was born in 11. So she's 11 years difference. The only thing that's wild to me is whenever there's a big enough age gap in your siblings, for the Colleens, their youngest will be closer in age to Drew's kid than they will be to Drew, probably.
Yeah.
Which is wild, knowing that you're going to be an aunt to basically your cousin.
Yeah.
Which, that's kind of like Nate's situation with...
oh my goodness, yeah.
What's
Elijah?
Elijah, yeah. which is wild to me. I could never imagine that, but you know, each family is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, did Jake or did Logan Paul ever have his second boxing match?
I believe he did.
Because that one wasn't as hyped up as the first one was.
No, it wasn't.
Because everyone.
Well, the first one ended in a tie.
Yeah, that's like the not Terry Crews. Who's the dude that came back? Was it the guy that sold the grills?
Oh no, Floyd Merriweather versus Logan Paul is not happening. Says Jeff Merriweather.
Oh no, that was something else.
That's something else?
Yeah, there's KSI versus
KSI.
Logan Paul. Yeah. Shoot, when was that supposed to happen? That was supposed to happen like a couple years ago, wasn't it? Because the whole like Logan Paul versus KSI round 1 was like 2015 or so, and I feel like this was like a couple years after. Yeah, November 9th, 2019.
Looks like KSI won the second one.
By SD? What is that?
Score difference?
That's what I'm assuming. It's 56-55, 57-54. Oh, dang, that was kind of close. Patrick Russell was the difference maker in the judges.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks like Zach Young and Lou, whatever, Moret, they canceled each other out with their judge votes. And then Patrick's like, no, KSI won by a lot. And he gave all 3 rounds to KSI. That should not have been the outcome. Logan Paul has the weight, the height, and the reach advantage over KSI, but KSI is just... KSI is black.
Yes, but also hear me out. Hear me out on this. Logan Paul's a douchebag and doesn't deserve victory.
True. So I mean,
just keep that in mind.
I mean, he's never gonna outlive his reputation on or in or out of the ring, and that's just that's the way it is. There's no way he's ever gonna shake his rep.
I'm not even talking about the whole Forrest debacle. Yeah. I'm just talking in general.
Yeah, in general, like it's very clear who the better person is coming into this. I'm not gonna name names, but it's KSI.
Yeah, I won't name names, but I will name letters, specifically K, S, and I.
Yeah, in that order specifically. But yeah, it wasn't Logan Paul. I do you think they're gonna have a third round? Do you think Logan Paul is gonna jump back in like no? The first one was a tie. The second time I didn't train hard enough, so now we got to go a third time. There's got to be.
Sure he will. I'm sure he will at some point.
Logan Paul 3. Is there a 3? There's a video on YouTube that says there is, but I don't want to click on that because that's obviously not real. I have after that whole thing with KSI and Logan Paul, that did get me into like mixed martial arts and all that, because there's some really good fights like that. That felt like anime, but in real life for rednecks.
I've never. But
that's what it felt like to me, and that's all. Yeah.
I've never watched legit mixed martial arts, but I have watched Scott Adkins, which, I mean, it's in movies, so it's not real, but at the same time, it's impressive that he can do some of that stuff. Like, he does legit know the fighting styles.
Okay, so he's kind of like a Jackie Chan kind of esque.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I might check him out. I have been looking for like new kind of media that I haven't watched before. Like I haven't been super. Oh, he was in Expendables. Okay.
Yes, he was. Like I don't think he did a ton, but I know he's in it.
Yeah. Like my range of movies that I've seen are very narrow. So I've been trying to find like stuff. Like I just recently watched this one series on Amazon called Wayne, and Wayne's pretty good. The storyline's basically, oh, there's a 16-year-old boy. He grew up in Brooklyn. Everything in the movie has a heavy Boston accent, and it gets to you at first. After a while, it starts growing on you, and you kind of understand after a while what they're saying. But that's normally
and then you get in front of the mirror and you realize you're speaking Bostonian now.
Yeah. That's just
it's transformed you.
You just gotta. That's the steps you gotta take whenever you're watching Wayne. Yeah, you just gotta you just figure it out and you adapt and you overcome and you reuse, reduce, and recycle and whatever. But Wayne was a really good show. As I was watching it, the more and more I realized for some reason I want to connect this guy to Batman because his name's Wayne and he fights crime. Because he grows up in Boston or Brooklyn. He goes to this middle school, and the principal doesn't control the kids. There's really no enforcement in any of the schools, so people just kind of get beat up. And then there's Wayne. He just kind of goes around. He's the vigilante. He does all the cool things and beats people up with trombones or whatever he can get his hands on. And he just goes around fighting crime in the school. And then he'll go outside and he'll fight crime around on the streets. Much not as effective as he does in the school because he's 16, but he tries, and that's the relatable part is he sucks at it.
Okay.
Every fight, I think in the first 4 episodes, he loses. And I guess from a writer's standpoint, stepping back at it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Character development that sets up for the end of the season. You can have him have it a really big successful fight because he knows what not to do now or whatever. Letting them punch you in the face, that's normally bad. But yeah, that's the majority of it. Is his dad has cancer, and so his mom left him when he was 5, I think was the storyline. And so she left, took the dad's super expensive car. It was a real nice muscle car. I don't remember what kind of car it was, but it was pretty sweet. And so she took off with some dude, left Wayne and his dad to fend for themselves with nothing. And so they went down to, I think it was Florida. And so the whole storyline is Wayne's dad said to Wayne, whenever I die, because he's still in the car, because his name's still on the title. So he's like, Wayne, when I die, you get the car. I just don't know where it's at. And so, so obviously the dad dies of cancer, and then Wayne's like, all right, I'm gonna go get the car, and that's the story of this is where the series picks up. Episode 2 is where he starts pursuing the car. It's really interesting. I really liked it. It wasn't the best thing I've ever watched, but it was entertaining for I think it's 10 episodes. It's all on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
So it was just pretty all right. And that makes me want to watch more Jackie Chan kind of stuff, where it's hand-to-hand combat, well choreographed. Wayne as a storyline sucks, but the fight scenes and the emotional ties that the director and the writers get you into, they're pretty all right.
Okay. Have you ever seen Into the Badlands?
I have not.
It's kind of so it's set in this alternate. Did you have anything else to say about Wayne before I go on about this?
No, that was about it. I didn't want to spoil too much for people listening. If there's anybody listening, Mom, hi. She doesn't listen to this.
So Into the Badlands, it's basically this alternate universe where I believe it's it's basically this universe where guns were outlawed.
Okay.
So it's a post-apocalyptic thing. So there was this war. It's 500 years in the future or something. And it's kind of it's a retro apocalyptic scenario. So they have cars, they have electricity, and stuff, but they just don't use guns. So everybody fights with like martial arts and traditional ancient weaponry, swords,
Yeah.
crossbows, stuff like that. And the show just follows a bunch of different characters. And yeah, I've not seen the whole thing.
Okay.
So I'm literally just giving the basic premise.
Yeah.
Right now, I just know the fight scenes are really, really good. I've watched all the fight scenes like several times.
Say, like, just skimming through like Google Images, it looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like from I don't. I'm trying to pick out who I think the main characters are, but I have no idea.
Well, it's not quite to the level of Game of Thrones where like there's so many characters you can't really tell. I know it kind of gets to that point by the last season where there are just so many.
Yeah.
But I know initially the main characters are Sunny and the Widow.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think I think I'm starting to pick them out. Say there's a few promo images I'm looking at that have like 9 characters, a few with 7, and there's like a couple with like it looks like it splits up into like multiple storylines where there's like 2 or 3 characters in each storyline and they go about their business.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for that. Like that's keeps things entertaining and you don't have to fit a bunch of story for like one person. Like whenever we did Earl, that's all one storyline for 20 minutes. But whenever you have 3 storylines to go through, you can like designate like 7 minutes per storyline, and you got a whole episode there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that's really good. That'd be nice if we could figure out how to manage something like that, because then I could write Lance bits, and then Scott and you can write the Phil and Isaac storyline, because I suck at writing Phil and Isaac bits. And so like that'd be an easy way for us to like mass produce like A and B storylines.
Sure.
That just now clicked in my head why they like have an A, B, and C storyline in like any professional TV show. Just because it's easier to make it bite size and not work together.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to pick up this show.
Like, I think it's all on. I want to say it's all on Netflix.
Probably, if not, like there's always the places to torrent.
Yar.
Yeah. All right, it's on Netflix, YouTube for $1.
Oh, the whole show?
Maybe it's probably like at $1.99 per episode or something like that. That's probably what it is. Yeah, it's $1.99 per episode. Let's just go with Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. All right, I'm gonna add that to my list of things to do watching. Because like I'm starting to run out of shows to keep me entertained. Because
I'm not.
Because like I really only follow like animes and stuff, and so I'm down to like 3 animes that I have left to get. Well, I have another one, but it's more of a long running anime. But like I'm all caught up on like my recent stuff, like Attack on Titan and Quintuplets, and what was the other one? Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone's a really good anime.
Okay.
But
I feel like we've talked about that one before.
I think we have. Basically, one day a big green wave of science or whatever encapsulates the Earth, turns all the humans to stone, and then 500 years in the future, one dude that's super smart finds a way to turn himself not into stone, and then they build a society from the ground up. That's Dr. Stone in a nutshell. There's a bunch of other like more complications throughout the storyline, but that's the gist of it. It's pretty good. It's one of my top 3.
Okay.
Yeah, now that I'm all caught up on my animes, I need to like start picking up other things to fill my time. And
have you ever seen Steins Gate?
Maybe. Hang on. Steins Gate. I have maybe. Hang on. There's a few animes that I have seen, but I have no recollection of watching it. It's so weird. Like, there's this one boxing anime. I don't remember what it's called. It's not Megalobox. It's the one that came out like a couple years before Megalobox came out. If someone wants to look it up, it has the Dermsy role in it, and anytime I see a clip of the show, I'm like, I remember watching this. I remember the whole episode, but until I see that clip, I don't have any recollection of what that anime was. I don't have any idea what the storyline is. But as long as I see that one clip, I'm like, oh, I remember. This is where he finds the girl along the side of the road, and they go to lunch together. They fall in love, and then he finds out she has a girlfriend. I related to that one. I have heard of Steins Gate. I don't think it might be on my list, but I don't think I've started it yet.
Okay.
But yeah,
some friends introduced me to it, and we watched through the whole thing over the course of a couple months.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it.
I'll have to let me add this now so I don't forget about it later. I did see something this morning whenever I woke up, and I'm like, oh, I really hope Scott shows up for the podcast. This is gonna be great because I don't remember if you watched any of Shield Hero with us, but
I think I watched maybe like 2 episodes.
That feels about right. That's like the same with the Highway Blossoms playthrough. That game. All right, you didn't really miss anything with that game. It's just the longest drawn out meh in existence. That's what that video game is. It's a graphic novel that doesn't go anywhere and doesn't give you any diversity. The only reason it was entertaining is because we made it entertaining.
We made it entertaining with our characterizations and the voices.
But there's a sequel coming out to Highway Blossoms, and I kind of want to play it. I kind of don't want to play it for the sake of because me and Scott haven't finished the first game yet.
Okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word, so I'll just isn't it
you gonna mouth it to me?
No. Isn't it a game that falls under the genre that rhymes with hentai?
It's kind of ecchi. There is a Am I
allowed to say the real word?
Yeah, hentai. It's
okay,
not.
Okay.
It's not. It's nowhere near that. There are.
It's not quite there.
There's a mod that you can install that because there are a few scenes that are censored, but there's a mod you can install to uncensor them, which is kind of weird. There's only one. There's like one frame in the whole game that like has censorship on it. And me and Scott were 5 minutes away from getting to it. I was so excited. But Scott wanted to drop it. Also, Wuppo is multiplayer, so we need to play that at some point. But
which one's Wuppo again?
It's like a little fuzzball game. It has really creative writing. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
But we need to play through it, and they added a few updates to it. So I want us to play it at some point in time after Scott's done with school or whatever, like probably towards July, if we can get together.
Sure.
But yeah, Highway Blossom's coming out with I'm not sure if it's a DLC or if it's just an actual sequel. I can look it up now, but it looked interesting. It'd be nice if we could find another Highway Blossoms to play through, and like make it
a
game
like that.
Yeah, because it's a $10 DLC. It's called Highway Blossom's Next Exit. And I don't know. I like the characters. There's 5 of them, which is kind of dumb. And there's only one dude, and the dude is probably gay. Because everyone else is.
I don't even remember what character he had. Was he like a surfer dude?
I don't remember. There was one dude, and I'm just like, yeah, bro. Just gotta chill. I don't even remember.
Man.
I just know my voice acting has gone way down the toilet since we last, did things.
Yeah, I need something to stretch my chops because
Yeah.
I've been doing some like so I'm trying to build up my voice acting like reel so that I can be auditioning and applying for voice acting gigs.
Yeah.
And I've basically just been going through the SCP archives and reading different stories and recording them
Okay.
and
That
finding snippets.
See that's a good way to go through it because there's so much of it and everything's pretty. At
Yeah,
least for me, it's entertaining to read through, like what people
I
come
do
up
like the
with.
SCP. I like the SCP Foundation.
There's one, maybe there's two TikTok channels that I follow that'll occasionally they go through with like an animated style, like, oh, SCP-237, it's a blanket, but when you go under it, it eats you or whatever. I made it up,
What
but
is
that's probably in there somewhere.
what is SCP-237? Hang on,
I like
hang on.
you could legit
Let
make
me see.
anything up, and it's probably an SCP to some extent.
Oh sure,
Like, there's a few of them that are actually entertaining. We should play through the SCP games because there's some entertaining stuff in
that'd be
there.
fun. Yeah.
Terrifying, absolutely terrifying, but
Okay, it
it could be
looks
fun.
like SCP-2 SCP-237 appears as a human male of Japanese ethnicity with falsified identity documents indicating an age of 24 years. So it's a Japanese dude.
Dope.
Oh no, there's multiple. There's multiple. Hang on. It looks like it creates other beings. Um,
Huh.
Other instances of
Oh.
SCP-237-2 in custody: a 23-centimeter tall human female in a French maid's outfit, a 19-centimeter tall human female in a swimsuit with feline ears, a tail, and paws. A
Hmm.
25 centimeter. So it seems like. Oh wait, never mind. Never mind. Fourth instance: 27-centimeter tall human male in samurai armor, faces featureless.
Interesting.
Okay, so it's not just a waifu factory.
I mean,
These
yeah.
first three were kind of waifu-y.
Yeah. Non-removable. What does that mean? Oh, holding a deck broom. This is
Yeah, so you can't
odd.
take the broom out of her hand.
Yeah, I thought it meant the maid's outfit was unremovable. I'm like,
Oh,
man, ruined my
yeah,
whole
that
plan.
defeats the purpose of the whole thing.
Yeah, come on. What the heck is penguin? I don't want to get down this trail, but there's just so much to it.
Yeah.
But that stuff,
What I'm planning, what I want to do with the reading through the foundations, because I found out I wanted to start at 1 and just kind of work my way up numerically. But it turns out there is no one SCP-001. There's like a whole bunch of entries, because I guess for lore reasons.
yeah,
So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is I'll start with 2, read through it, and then each entry that's like shorter, I'll do like a double where like I'll do the main entry and then add like a supplemental thing to the end where I read through one of the SCP-1
hmm,
entries. Make and like I have a story in mind to tie them all together. Like like the guy reading them used to work for the foundation but was let go and had his memory erased, but he found a way to send himself like the files from the archive, so he's secretly releasing them.
yeah. I like that plot, the plot line. Yeah, how many? Oh, no, that doesn't make any sense. By series. Okay, interesting. I guess that makes sense. Hmm. See, there's a lot of these that are like real. There's a lot of lore behind them.
Yeah.
Too many likes to be going nowhere. What is this? Unit MTF, blah, 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 science. Large office block, formerly regional headquarters of Redacted. What is this just a building?
Well, I think there's one SCP that's just straight up the state of Georgia.
I would have loved it to be Wyoming.
I don't remember what state it is exactly, but it implies that there's an entire state that doesn't actually exist, and it's an SCP.
I'm pretty sure that has to be Wyoming.
It might be Wyoming.
Because Wyoming just doesn't exist. Do you know anyone from Wyoming? Yeah, I didn't think so.
SCP.
My gosh.
Yeah, SCP-1422 is Wyoming.
I was close. I was in the 4,000s. What'd you say it was 14?
1422 is the state of Wyoming.
It won't let me look it up like that. All right, whatever.
SCP-1422 was an anomalous phenomenon that prior to July 9th, 2007 prevented all Foundation personnel from learning of the existence of Yellowstone National Park.
Hey, boo-boo. We don't exist. We're being suppressed by the government.
What classified material?
Oh my gosh. Level 4 operation, 2009. Did anything actually happen on March 18th of 2009? What happened on this day? Famous deaths. Not Natasha Richardson. I have no idea who that is. That is the only thing that happened on that day. Cool.
Oh, okay. The date that Yellowstone's existence was confirmed.
Yeah.
And personnel with insufficient clearance have had their memories removed. So you have to be a certain level to even know about Wyoming.
Yeah, that's classified on a need-to-know basis. I'll have you know.
The Foundation possesses no documentation that refers to Yellowstone National Park dated earlier than July 9th, 2007.
Such a weird... Information on the case, so hypothesis, blah, 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 blah. We could spend like a whole episode just like going through like SCPs that we find interesting and just line them up. I would be all right with that.
Yeah,
like,
you know.
Every other week is SCP week.
Well, they have them divided into series.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just
I didn't know about that.
It's like 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000 to 4,000.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's just to help like navigate through because there's so many.
So many.
I remember there was one. I think it was a few summers ago. I got an email about the SCP Foundation website was going to go under because they didn't have any funding for it. And so I think I threw $20 into the pot, and they're still here. So that's pretty cool.
Was it that they were going to go under? Because I had heard stuff about that some idiot was trying to like get copyright ownership.
Yeah. Well, since this is a nonprofit, it's fine. But because there's copyrighted material in here. So as long as you don't make money off of it, you're okay. But as soon as you start making profit off of it, you have to a company that owns copyright material that you're making profit off of can file a cease and desist, and you have to go through with it or fight it and prove that you either aren't using the material that's copywritten, or I don't remember what I was going to say for the second part. Just listen to the first part. That's how you get out of that. And if you can't do that, then you gotta shut everything down. And so some dude was like, he was making, I don't remember how he was making money off of it, but he was making a profit off of it, but he wasn't part of the actual site. He was just claiming he was. And so they filed a cease and desist, and so everything was going to get shut down or whatever. And I don't remember what happened after that. I guess they figured out a way to get out of it, and they're still here. But then I think right after that, they were asking for like support or whatever. Or maybe that was Wikipedia. It might have been Wikipedia, now that I'm thinking about it. Because I'm still getting emails about it I gave him $5 like 3 years ago, and Wikipedia's still emailing me. Hey, you remember how kind you were back then? Do it again. That'd be pretty neat.
We know you got more money.
I got an email. Let me pull it up. Actually, it's too funny. Wiki. It is so funny. All right, so
holy
when
crap.
when was the first? All right, so the first email is from donate@wikimedia.org. Gabriel, there is no easy way to say this. To keep Wikipedia online for hundreds of millions of readers, I'm surprised. Oh my gosh, there's so much more to this email. And the gist of it was super professional. It had like the picture of the CEO on it. It was signed by the CEO with like a little image or whatever. I didn't believe it. It was probably just photoshopped. But like it's just like, hey, can you give us money? That'd be pretty neat. We're gonna die soon. We don't want to die. Please? But like in a professional way. I didn't do anything because I didn't have money at that point. A week later, I got an email from Jimmy at Wikipedia. We've had enough. We've had enough. When you gave $5 in 2019, you kept Wikipedia thriving for yourself and millions of other readers. Thank you for your support. Will you match your last gift or consider donating a different amount? ? And then they gave like a 60-page essay about why money is needed. And I didn't do anything. 2 days later, Jimmy pops back in my email, jimmy@wikipedia.org. Our final email, all caps. It just says donate to Wikipedia, and it has the HTML link to donate. They just gave up. It's amazing.
You get one like in a week. It says we are outside.
I was half expecting that because like
we are no longer asking for your financial support.
It just escalates so quickly from like. There's no easy way to say this, but we're in a financially difficult situation at this current time. Would you mind being an asset to us and helping us continue to thrive? To give us your money. I want your money. Give it.
Plot twist: Wikipedia's been run by Bernie Sanders this whole time.
Once again, asking for your financial support, and you know, just you gotta do it, or else he won't run for president next year or whatever.
Yeah.
Regardless of how many times. Yeah, he's going for midterms or whatever. It's like school. You know, you got your final exam every 4 years, and you get your midterms every 2. But yeah, like Wikipedia is just like, hey, we need money. We're outside. Get in the van, or give us $5. Yeah, it's so weird. Oh, I didn't even see this one. I got an email like 2 months prior to that asking for money again. The subject is I don't know you. It's just by wikipedia.org. There's not even like an @ before it. It's just Wikipedia emailed me. I don't know you. Such a weird.
I am homeless. I am gay. I'm new in town. I have AIDS. I got the order wrong, but yeah, that's the bit.
it's the bit.
That's a John Mulaney bit.
Such a weird November of 2019. I got that email. Oh, okay, so I must have gave them money again because that's the only email I got that year. I must have given them like $1 or something.
That's why I try not to sign up for stuff because like once they know where you live.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all they have is my email address. So like I'll just get it. I'll get an occasion. Everyone knows. You can, if you have a name, you can get like an actual physical address. It might not be right, but you'll get it like an estimate. But I got the hiccups. But yeah, I don't know. We did not hit any of our bullet points that we prepared for today. We hit a few of them.
Yeah, we briefly talked about like WandaVision.
And then the Lola Bunny redesign.
Yeah.
And The Mark Pavlich thing. He was in.
Why'd you put that on there?
Well, he was in the movie Miracle on Ice, and
Never seen it.
It's one of the it's all I want to say it's bigger than Mighty Ducks, but it's more for like an adult kind of thing. It's I've never seen it either. I'm going to be honest with you. And if anyone that knows me hears that, they're going to be upset. But from my understanding, The Miracle on Ice is a story about the USA team going up against Russia, and Russia's a very
as always.
It's
stop
just a story.
Stop describing Call of Duty.
But yeah, it's just a big rivalry back in the day in the world of hockey, because Russia was always a big physical team and America was built on skill. So it was always a battle of who can check harder or skid around the other opponent better. But yeah, that's my understanding of The Miracle on Ice. It's really big in like the hockey community and all that. But yeah, I saw the news article of Mark dying this morning. I'm like, oh, that sucks. He was like 68 or something like that. But
oh dang.
Yeah, he lived a full life.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah, we hit our hour mark. We hit our quota for today without Scott. We made it through. And we live to fight on another day.
Yeah.
I really wanted to hit some of your points because the whole like Disneyland becoming a mass vaccination site.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea where that's based from.
The only thing I really had to say about that is just I really want the characters to be the one administering the vaccine.
Oh, you actually
like all right, kids, line up. Here comes Mickey with the needle.
Oh my! I'd love for that. I'd go down there just to get everyone. I'd go down there to get vaccinated by Mickey Mouse. I mean, not behind closed doors, but
yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
I want that photo. Just Mickey sticking the needle in my arm.
Well,
me with my thumb up.
Yeah, no. I would be. I'd go with like the overly crying face, like the I want to die. Like think of petrified child at the mall on Santa's lap. That's what I want to be. That's my life goal right now. But yeah,
put have like your other arm like behind the chair, like it looks like it's being restrained. Have like a ball gag in your mouth.
Oh, that would like. Ah! That would be amazing. The state reported just under 40,000 new cases on Monday. I'm assuming this is like the previous Mondays, so that would be March 1st. And 264 deaths. Did you know Japan only has 6,000 cases? They just hit 6,000 like last week.
Well, I mean, wait, you said Japan.
Japan as a whole.
Oh, okay. Honestly, that doesn't surprise me because Japan has kind of, if the portrayals and like of the culture that I've seen are to be believed, they were kind of already practicing a sort of COVID-esque lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really the fact that it's such a packed country does kind of surprise me about that.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a third of America's population. I don't remember what the percentage is on landmass, but whenever you're on an island for X amount of years, you kind of have to figure it out.
Well, it also might be a case of like they might just have a massive herd immunity.
That could be true, or it could also be a case of, oh, I'm sick. This just happens like every 3 weeks. It's no big deal, and they don't get tested, so the case doesn't get reported or whatever. Which
also, yeah, that
it could be it, but.
And also, like, okay, so time for me to somewhat sound like a conspiracy theorist. Okay. I don't actually believe that a massive percentage of what have been recorded as COVID in like cases or deaths are actually COVID.
Probably not.
Because you didn't hear like okay, and like I said, this is gonna make me sound like one of the paranoid like Alex Jones types, but like where did all the flu cases go?
That's also a good
Like
point.
nobody got reported as having the flu all of 2020. Just everybody had COVID.
Yeah, they kind of just get clumped together. That's like
Yeah,
any death that had any recollection with the vid immediately got thrown into the pile of,
yeah,
oh, they're just
exactly.
part of the total now. Like, oh,
Yeah,
this guy got hit by a car. He had the flu. There's a case.
He had flu. I guess he was a COVID death.
Yep, we're gonna put him on the board. Another tally. Ding.
He shouldn't have been outside driving that car in the first place. That's a COVID death.
Yeah. He existed outside of his home. That's his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think, they were definitely inflated, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just kind of leave it there for
yeah,
whatever.
I won't go. Yeah, I won't go into everything that I believe about COVID because I will get crucified by somebody.
I mean, I feel like we should have just took North Korea's approach on it. Oh, you have the coronavirus.
Oh no!
On the knees,
Die.
bang.
Die.
They have a 0%. They have 100% mortality rate, but they never got what's it called? They don't have any repeat offenders, or whatever the correct terminology is for that case. They didn't have any reoccurring. So, I mean, the long-term goal is definitely there.
There were no multiple infections.
Yeah. So, maybe America at some point, you'll think about that. Bernie Sanders, if he makes it into office, maybe that's his spiel. But yeah. That was a good note to end the podcast on.
Sure.
we hit our quota. Maybe next week Scott will be here. It'd be nice if we could do this every week. Just like pick an hour, pick like 3 topics, and go on a spiel.
Yeah.
I'd be down with that.
I'd be absolutely down with that.
Maybe Sam, maybe Drew. maybe not Daniel.
Sam's working right now. I think that's why he's not here.
I mean, I don't know why Scott's not here. He just didn't want to be here. I think he doesn't like me or something like that.
I honestly kind of think he might be upset with us or something.
I don't know what like he just stops playing video games and then he just doesn't.
Well, that I do understand. Like that I can absolutely see.
Yeah, but
the thinking behind.
The last time he texted me was back in December, and yeah. Then he uninstalled Discord and all that. No, he's just nowhere to be. He wiped himself off the grid, which is understandable because he had to figure out job, school, and then building the house. But now he said the house is going to be finished back in January, which I haven't heard an update on that. I assume they're moving into it.
I think it's mostly the basement.
I mean, that's my house right now.
I was talking to Drew.
Okay. But like once that's done, like we can start recording every now and then. What was the bit I came up with? I came up with a way that the landlord bit. Did you read the landlord bit?
I might have. Let me see. Hang on.
All right, hang on. Let's. All right. Thanks for tuning into PoDUMb 7. We'll see you next week whenever Scott might be here.